What's going on there, everyone, and welcome back to a video from the Demon Overlord. And today we go into another video into the Demon Overlord's Guide to Miniatures. Today we're going to be talking about Wrath of Kings. Now, Wrath of Kings is a tabletop war game once again, and it's actually a really cool one. It is made by the company Cool Mini or Not, also known as Simone if you kind of abbreviate it out. Now, as it states, it is an epic fantasy miniatures war game set in a stunning world. It is obviously a fantasy-esque world more than it is sci-fi, but it does have some very unique pieces. Now, in this system, you have 5 kingdoms going to war to see who will be the leading controlling system. Here on the board at the moment, we have the Hadros kingdom. These are your water warriors. These are the guys who live in the oceans, rule the seas. They're water-type creatures, like you have jellyfishes, krakens, crustaceans, sharks, fishmen, octopusmen, jellyfish people, and all that kind of like multitude variation. Now, these are the Hadros that I currently have. These came from a combination of 2 Hadros sets, which I think they were called the Hadros. Oh man, it was hard to remember. I got these on Miniature Market on sale, which were the shell crackers, which are those big guys there with the shells, obviously. And then the other guys are like Sharkmen. Over so you can see him a little better, which is like he's like the depths guard. Like I guess he's a really powerful guardian, which I think these are also like the depths guards. So like these guys live deep, they protect, they're like a really heavy duty guard type, which they are cool. I got them mostly because like, hey, they're Sharkmen. They're literally Sharkmen. They make the Sahuagin look pretty pathetic. I mean, I put some on like actual D&D bases. I plan to take them off those and actually put them back on the actual Wrath of Kings bases, because I actually want to put some resin in there to help hold their feet on and to give them that like water effect. So I'm going to put like a little bit of gravel, paint their bases inside, and then put a nice little cool little blue resin there, like a light, very light blue resin for water. And I think it would give them a lot of cool personality, because I mean, these guys are big. They're all very big. I mean, next to a normal humanoid, medium humanoid character, these dudes are big. They're all big and they're all aggressive. They're all cool as heck. I mean, the Sharkmen themselves are really awesome. You got like the cool hammerhead style. You've got this sort of blunt nose shark style, like a bull shark or something. You got this cool sort of reptile looking man. So I guess maybe he'd be like a sea lizard. You got the saw sharks. And then you got these cool shell crackers. You're obviously your crustaceans. Now with the kingdom of Hadros, they are really cool. I mean, so this is your water kingdom. They fight for the oceans. They want to rule and, you know, be the kingdom of all the kingdoms. Like they want to rule. Now, we do have other members of this kingdom, so we're going to switch to another set, and that is House Nazir. House Nazir seems to be more of like your kind of demonic warriors. These are ones who look to be kind of corrupted by chaos, if you had to throw it into like, you know, the chaotic realm. These guys are what are called like thwart. They have the swordsman, Hakar, Bloodmask, Howls, the Rothar, the Longhorns. They also have these giant demons. And these are 2 lovely demons I happened to pick up last time. I picked up a Nazir starter box, which came with a lot of minis. I mean, you got a lot of these cool blood mask women. You got the, I think they're called the Howls. I think those are the bigger, thicker, demonic women. And, like, I find the female characters very interesting because they're running into battle with nothing but pasties, G-strings, and full-armed, full-leg boots. And then their blood mask, sword, and shield. That's literally it. That's not much protection. It's like, they're kind of like a berserker. And then you got these Nazir swordsmen who are or the Ashman swordsmen. They're a little different. I mean, like, you got these big old, I think that's the Rothar there, the sort of shaman looking guy in the back. He's got this sort of like big mask. Got the Oni painted, inspired Longhorn. I just wanted him to be different because I think it made him look a little cooler. And I mean, like, honestly, these guys are kind of cool. They have this really like, sort of like, we work with the evil bad guys type look, and they look sweet. And I mean, like, it's very interesting. Like, I'm sorry, it's just, I'm looking at them and thinking, man, they look really cool. Like, it's really cool to think of these races. Like, they have these cool racial things. Like, there is no, like, full flag of, like, oh, we're Sharkmen and you're Squidmen. We don't hate each other. We all belong to the Hadros Empire, or the Hadros Kingdom, and we work together to defeat our enemies. Now, most likely what happened is, I think there's obviously a little bit of a precursor to what happened in this game. There was a war within the war to make all the clans and different species of each kingdom come together. And of course, you know, what unites all creatures no matter what? A common enemy. So obviously the water guys were all like, hey, these demonic dudes are ruining the land and they're starting to come near our waters. We should fight to show them the error of their ways and take over the land and blah, 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 and do it right. So I really do like that. Sorry, in the center there, I just added another unit because it's the only unit I have painted from a different house, but we'll get to that in a minute. So the Nazir seem to be more of like a race that seems to be very... They almost feel like dark elves that are very friendly with demons and like mate with them and stuff and become corrupted by them, because they just have that feeling to me of dark elves because the women are these gray women. And then they become more demonic. And I mean, maybe they just made deals with demons and that's what it is. I don't really know too much. I haven't looked into their lore much, but I probably plan to later. And it's just really cool. And it's a savage, and they live on a savage continent shattered by incredible rivalries. Blah, blah, blah. You know, with savage werewolves, tenacious horrors from the ocean depths, magically empowered samurai, and everything in between. So these guys aren't your samurai. Just to say it now, the Nazirs are not like samurais or like, you know, the Onis like that. But that's that. Now moving on to like what other ones that are available. There is also the Technis race, or the Technis kingdom. These guys are more along your eyes of like steampunky sort of characters. Like they have that tech mixed in with like armor. They have like unique style, like a little bit more, I guess, almost Ghibli feel to them. They have a Ghibli feel because like you have these pigmen soldiers, you have these like large boar tusk humanoid looking dudes, squid monsters that like, I don't know if they like made it like a mecha squid. Looks like kind of that sort of stuff. And so they're like kind of that steampunky, mixy sort of fantasy steampunky, and it's very unique and interesting. I don't have any of the Technis minis. I plan to hopefully get some of each of the houses because like these are just really cool, and they're always on great sale. Guys, I always recommend that too. We'll get to that later with price, but like they're always on sale usually because I don't know if the game is dead or not, but they're really interesting. Now, the next up race, so we've gotten those three houses covered of the 5. The fourth race is one that I only have one set of, and that is the Goritsi starter box. Or sorry, the starter set. So I'm looking at the name because I always want to say something different. But the Goritsi. Now, the Goritsi are kind of your, or the Goritsi, I keep putting it on there. Goritsi, these are your, like, sort of the, I want to call them the grimdark, like, fantasy violent monsters. These are your werewolves and your vampire races. Like, they have, like, the werewolves. Now, I do have some of the werewolves because I actually have the one set known as the Honor and Treachery, the Battle of Ravenwood, and that was between some Nazir and some of the Goritsi werewolf people. So I have some of the female and male werewolves from that. I do actually have a set of the Shadow Dancers from the Goritsi, which are the vampires, because they're the vampire and the werewolf allies. So I'm guessing they're like kind of the undead house, which vampires and werewolves are, some people believe in be like, you know, they're those dark creatures. They're like the Fey dark monsters. Like, they're those dark creatures. And that seems to be the Goritsi kingdom, which is kind of cool. I like it. Like, for instance, there's my female Shadow Dancer. She's actually the masked variant. Like, there's one that's not masked, and there is a masked one, and those are, like, the leaders in full armor. The rest of these more, like, jester-esque dancer outfits. Like, they're more obviously for dancers. But they practice the art of the dancing blade. If you don't know what that is, guys, it's basically where you dance and swords fight at the same time. And from seeing it, like, you know, many times seeing it, like, and watching it, I always sit there and go, like, dang, I wish I had the skill to do that, but I don't, because that requires a lot of stamina to dance and sword fight and keep track while trying to dance. It's a lot of work. Well, sorry, dance, but I mean like have the dancer-esque styles, figure moves to it. Now, the last kingdom within this, like already 4 out there, this one is more of your Japanese/Chinese, your Asiatic culture one. This is the, I might butcher it, I'm sorry, the Shalhan. Now, I'm going to call it the Shalhan because they have these like sort of thunder demons, ogre-looking guys. They have a little bit of some steampunkiness too, but they have monks. They also have, similar to the Blood Mass, the fact they also have these women that also are wearing nothing but pasties and like boots and gloves, and then like very little armor adaptations, except they carry more like glaives and stuff. You get these like samurai guys that are like empowered by like magic, empowered by the tech. They're just empowered samurais. I got some monk-looking characters. Got some weird big guys like those few you would get in like say Samurai Warriors, those big dudes carrying the big mauls and stuff. Kind of occasionally look at them. So I mean, very interesting. I mean, like you got like things called the Big Sister, the Shield of Talfon, the Legion Keeper, the Dragon Legion, and I have seen that they do have like dragon monsters too. So if you're looking for some dragons that are more Chinese or Lindworm styled, guys, check out Wrath of Kings, man. That's really cool for board games. They have like different types of dragons that they're out there. Now, It is a Steam fantasy world. That's why I want to say it. It was a Steam fantasy war game. So it gives players distinctive factions to wage war in Arcania. That's the actual name of the land they fight in. And they're all fighting for the main crown to be who will be the main kingdom above all others. And it's the Imperium throne. Basically, if you want to compare it, it'd be like if the Legion of Man, if the Imperium of Man, Chaos, if you were comparing to Warhammer, no one was like the said main leader, and they were all fighting for that one piece that would make them the final lord. That would be this. Because, I mean, these guys would be very useful for other board games. Now, I have basically made those demons to kind of be very versatile. They would be really cool to use in Warhammer. The Nausier creatures would be great to use for like your demonic, chaotic factions. I mean, or you could use those gray sort of thick women there that are, and use them as Eldar fighters, since Eldar believe in fighting skill, and maybe going in less armored is even more honorable to them. The less armor you wear, the less protection, so you're fighting purely on your skill and not relying on any armor. That maybe is even more impressive to them. I don't know. You could do it that way, and it's unique. The shell breakers and stuff you could definitely use as like Aquaman, or like from some planet of water, and they happen to be just like, you know, fighting to keep themselves protected from everyone else, or they're keeping their ocean safe from invaders. Like, you know, if you go fishing, you have to make a pact for them where it's like, hey, we won't take more than we need, or something like that. The Goritri, on the other hand, they're probably going to be, the Goritsi, they're going to be more like, hey, we need humans because we need that blood to drink. You know, we need the humanoid blood, so send us some humanoid blood from either your prisoner or something, and, you know, we won't hunt down your people and slaughter them in the night. And the werewolves might be like, I'm not sure if they're werewolves or wolf people, but I'm going to assume wolf people because they don't seem to be really transforming. It seems to be like, you know, basically the werewolf men are just like wolf people or lupins. Oh, actually, they might be useful for lupins. I just thought of that. If they're in the right size, I haven't really sized mine up. They are very big, but you could use them as like lupin alphas or something like that, or lupin like supremes, where they're just like these big pack lords. I mean, you could technically also kind of modify them a bit. You could use them as big gnolls, which gnolls are big, and that would be useful as well. I mean, if you want to try to make something different. The Technists, you could use a steampunky style warriors and stuff to throw into a game because they're already fantasy, so that works. The Shell Hunt, I definitely would say if you're trying to make more random-esque characters to throw in a world from Karatoa, which is the Asiatic part of the sword coat, like, you know, of the D&D continents, that sort of Asiatic-inspired land. Yeah, you could use them for that, as that area is big as well, and there's tons of cool things you can be representing. So, like I said, though, they are very compatible with other games. I don't know if this game's, like, technically dead, and now they're just selling what's out there to sell it. But you could definitely use these for other tabletop games, like Death Kingdom could use some of these demons. You could use the Sharkmen to just make these aggressive monsters that fight. Plus, like, hey, I killed a shark, saw Sharkman. I want to take his saw. Can I like roll to take his saw off and turn it into a blade? Like, I want to have his saw shark nose turn into a cool, or his rostrum turn into a really cool, aggressive looking spiked blade. And it's like, dang, impressive. DM will allow you to roll for that. Like, roll for it, please. And it would be very interesting, like, to, you know, because these guys would offer unique resources, battles, strategies, types of encounters. And I think this would be something if you're a D&D player, because now we're gonna get to the price. Now, these things can be around like maybe $12, so a box, and you're getting, like, if you get a starter box or something like that, or the like Shadow Dancer box, you're getting like 24 so minis. That's a lot of minis. So you really don't gotta buy a ton of them to have a little faction all set up into a world of D&D, or into the game. I don't know what the game faction usually size is, but, you know, it's pretty cool. So you got options, you got variety, you got style, you got look. These things have the style. Look at these things. They look cool. These look aggressive and, like, majorly tough. Like, it looks like basically if you went to fight any of these factions, you would basically have a hard time. And it'd be cool for your D&D characters maybe come across a group of vampires that have these, like, highly leveled dancing blade slinging females who are ready to slice you down. And this is maybe where you meet Strahd, where he's sitting atop his throne going, "Stand down, my ladies. I will deal with these invaders to my castle." And it's like, okay. You know, the Longhorn there says, I paint him Oni style, could be a representation of a warrior class Oni. The you could use those, the Gray Thick Women as the Dark Elves, and maybe the Like I said, the fact they go in with very little armor to covering makes them more respected. I don't know. The demons, they're demons, man. You could use them as demons or devils in D&D. You could use them as demons in Warhammer. If you're playing a home game, you could definitely use them as some demonic chaos creatures to really throw your Space Marines through a tizzy and have them like fight these big cleaver wielding suckers, and this dude with a big sword and a shaman looking dude. Maybe he wields chaotic fire or something like that in the back, the shaman looking dude. And maybe the Sharkmen like stand up to the Imperium because maybe they're an entire water world where it's like, no, the Imperium of man will not rule over us. And it's like, well, you are Xeno scum, so it's either that or we destroy you. Bring it on. And maybe because it's water and not the vacuums of space, it's a whole different water field, and they just can't seem to really beat them. Like these water beasts, like they have giant Titan water monsters and stuff, and it's like the Imperium just goes, you know what, leave them alone. It's like, why? They're not worth it. Chaos doesn't want to deal with them. The other races don't want to deal with them. We're just going to let them inhabit their worlds they own and let them leave them there, because they're all like water worlds, so it's like, we ain't going to have people living underwater, so maybe the Beastmen might, if you have some Beastmen that are maybe aquatic. And that's the cool thing, too. Because the Warhammer universe, say, has Beastmen and D&D has Beastmen, these Beastmen-looking races are not going to be out of the ordinary. I see no reason why you couldn't have Sahawagans, but you could also have shark people, or maybe it's like the shark guy stands in front of you, you're like, are you a Sahawagan? He goes, no, I am a Sharkman. We are, or like, I am a Sharkarian. We are very noble. It's like, oh, okay. Like, do you want to trade? It's like, of course. We Sharkarians love to trade with you surface people. You have usually interesting things that we cannot get underwater. It's like, oh, cool. Like glass. We cannot make that underwater. It's like, oh, well, I have a crap load of bottles from empty potions. You want to trade for them? I'll take some delicious fish. Like for some rations. Like, oh, okay, fair trade. And I'm just throwing that as an idea. You know what I mean? Like this offers you new enemies, new things, and the game itself looks fun. Like I said, if I could find someone to play against, or if I finally get around to painting up all these, maybe I'll go to my friends and go, who wants to play a game of Wrath of Kings? I'll use maybe the Hadros set. Maybe I'll use the Nazir set, or I could use the Goritsi, the Goritsi, because like maybe I want to use the cool dancing vampire women and have them slash down my opponents. Or maybe, make a mix where it's like, yeah, the Hadros, the Goritsi have made a deal that it's 50-50, squad numbers to fight against a Nazir set that's been bothering both of them. So they're like, yeah, we'll make a temporary truce, wipe them out, and then we go back to hating each other. Like then we separate, and then we're back to, the angry side. Got rid of that irritating party. Now, I don't have any of the Shahan. I've thought about it. I really should probably get at least one of those Dragon Riders. That'd be pretty cool to have for any of like because I've thought about making a campaign that goes into Keratoa, because Keratoa is a very unexplored place of the D&D. Like you don't see a lot of people talking about campaigns that take place there. And I've thought about it. Kind of cool. Because there's a lot of cool Asiatic monsters that have some really grimdark backstories and can have some grimdark effect on your players. And that would definitely be an advance of that. And the Technos, yeah, they can kind of go anywhere. They're just like beast people and steampunky beast people. So like, and steampunky people. So like, they could be pretty useful. Yeah, so honestly, no, Wrath of Kings. Let's get to the price-wise. Price, like I said, they're around like $12 a box, but you can usually sometimes get them on deals where they're like only maybe down to $8 for a pack, or like $8 to $6 a box. Sometimes you can get lucky and get some of these really big demon sets that usually cost like sometimes close to 20, down to only 10. So like almost 50, or actually, no, they're like usually 24, 25. You can get them down to $10. That's what I got with my two demon wings back there, or my two slasher demons, as I call them, or butcher demons, because they have the big butcher cleavers. And I have a lot of Nazir, because I actually have that Nazir. The last time I ever got them on sale was when I got the Nazir versus the Goritsi werewolf set. So I already have lots of Nazir, and I have more Goritsi to add to my Goritsi forces once I get those werewolves put together. They're in my box of shame right now. My mountain of shame. Oh, Lord. Every miniature painter man's worst fear. The mountain of shame. But yeah, they go on sale a lot on Miniature Market, and you could probably find them on Etsy for a good price. I've never really looked. Or not Etsy, but eBay as well. You can probably find them on Etsy too, actually. This is the way people say, like, I pro-painted it. But yeah, you can probably find them on eBay for a good price. I mean, just look for them, guys. Do the effort. I don't know if you can buy them from the company anymore. I mean, they still have a page for them, so you probably could buy them from the actual Cool Mini or Not company. But, I mean, these are another great wargaming option / miniature option if you guys want to have something unique and different. Like, I mean, how many times do you throw at your people, hey, guys, here's some crustacean shell crackers? Like, and your group on the table is going to go, wait, my elf does not know what that is. Of course you won't, because they've lived in the deep seas. And your characters lived in, like, say, the deep forests. You've never ever been to the deep sea, so you have no clue what those are. Like, oh, okay. But I am a elf ranger. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Like I said, know-it-all knowledge of the deep sea. You may know of lakes and stuff, but you don't know anything of deep oceans. Okay. You know. It's just something you can definitely use to throw your players off. Plus, you can always throw in like these big butcher wing demons, and then or devils, whatever you want to use them as, because they could be versatile. Maybe the gray one's more demon, the red one's more devil, because, you know, colors. And maybe the longhorn there could be either or, the shaman could be either or, the women could be like demonic, like cultists, the swordsman from the Asheron, same thing. You know, it's just so much. There's just so much potential in Wrath of Kings. Plus, the price is really good, and they're not that hard to assemble. They usually come in like maybe 4 pieces, and they're very easy to attach. And once they come off their sprues, their sprues are really easy. The sprues are easy to clip off and then easily remove flash. But of course, I use a Dremel tool to just go and just, you know, burn off any flash. So yeah, really awesome. They have great detail too. The detail is just fantastic. When you get close up and look at the details, when you get done painting, you sit there and go like, man, that's one good looking mini. I like. So Demon Overlord definitely gives a recommendation of a, yes, I recommend this for any tabletop player. Whether you're playing Death Kingdom, whether you're playing Warhammer, whether you're playing Sigmar, and of course I'm separating 40k to Sigmar, whether you're playing D&D, Pathfinder, Starfinder, any of those, I think that Wrath of Kings should be something you look into to get some minis if you ever see them on sale, especially definitely snag them up. I mean, they are awesome. And Cool Mini or Not has been known for making many great-looking miniatures. So Cool Mini or Not, you blew it out of the park with these guys. They look cool. They look awesome. And I enjoy painting them. Anyway, guys, that's all I've got for you today. If you have not done so, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you put that bell notification on so you're not missing out on any lovely videos I throw out in the future. Any sit-downs, chats, reviews, unboxings, or whatever. Or my love of miniatures. Also, make sure in this case, you have the 5 Kingdoms fight and smash the like button. That way you can help me get past that YouTube algorithm so more people can enjoy. Also, guys, share the video if you truly enjoy it. Let your friends see it. Send it to other people. Help spread it so that way others can enjoy it as well. And if you have any comments, concerns, issues, questions, whatever you want to throw at the Demon Overlord, go ahead and throw them in the comments down below. I'll take the time to answer your question. Or, you know, give you a thumbs up if I like your idea. Or, you know, if you have an idea of a video you want in the future, I'll take a look at it and I'll consider. The worst I can ever say is no. But you never know. I might be open to the idea. So anyway, guys, from the Demon Overlord, have a great one. See you next time, and bye-bye.